PCVR is one of the best ways to experience playing a VR game, but the quality of the experience varies greatly depending not only on the system, but also on the programs and settings you use. In this video, I will explain how to get the best possible performance out of your wireless PCVR setup, so you can enjoy smoother and better looking games without needing to break the bank for a hardware update. First, we need to take a look at the performance of our current setup in the desired game. You can check it from the Steam VR app by clicking on the Display Performance Graph option, or inside the headset in the VR settings of the Steam Link app by selecting Developer Settings and enabling Show GPU Performance Graph in Headset. If you are using the Virtual Desktop app, it has its own performance tracking option, but I will speak more about it later in the video. For now, this method will allow us to see the time it takes to render a frame on your display in milliseconds. If the time shown is less than or equal to 11 milliseconds, your display should maintain at least 90 frames per second, ensuring a good VR experience. If it doesn't, it means we have some work to do. Let's get the obvious things out of the way. Do you have any pending Windows updates? Go to the Start menu, click on Settings and select Windows Update. From there, click on Check for Update. You should also check whether there are any GPU driver updates available. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, go to the Start menu, search for NVIDIA app, click on Drivers, and if a newer version is available, you should see a download button. If you have a different type of GPU, you can look for a guide on updating your drivers in other YouTube videos. We can squeeze out a little more performance by tweaking some settings in the NVIDIA control panel or the AMD control panel. Right-click on your desktop, select Show More Options, and then click on NVIDIA control panel. You can copy my settings, but I think the options that will have the biggest impact are setting Power Management Mode to prefer maximum performance, and setting texture filtering quality to high performance. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about the best ways to stream the game from your PC to your VR headset. If you own a Meta headset, you currently have three main options: the Meta Horizon Link app, the Steam Link app, or Virtual Desktop. The first two are completely free, so it's worth trying both to see which one works best with your setup. That said, in my experience, Virtual Desktop delivers the best performance and offers far more customization options than the other two. It is a paid app, but the features and flexibility it provides more than justify the price. You must keep in mind that the app needs to be downloaded either from the Meta Horizon app or directly from the headset itself. The version available on Steam is not compatible with wireless headsets. Once the app is installed on your headset, open any browser on your PC and search for Virtual Desktop on Google. The first result should be the official website, where you can download the Streamer app for either Windows or Mac. But this isn't a tutorial on how to install Virtual Desktop, so I'll assume you've already completed that step and have your Meta ID added in the Account tab of the desktop application. Now, the first settings you should tweak are located in the Option tab. For the preferred codec, I recommend using H.264 or H.264+, if you mainly play fast-paced games like shooters. HVC and HVC 10-bit will provide better visual quality, but they also increase latency, so they are better suited for slower single-player games. If you are watching this video, I'm going to assume you probably don't own a 40 series GPU, so you should avoid using the AV1 codec. It was designed primarily for that generation of graphics cards and above, and currently benefits mostly Quest 3 users. So to recap, if your goal is the lowest possible latency, then H.264 and H.264+ are your best options. For the OpenXR runtime, selecting VDXR should provide a small performance improvement because it bypasses the Steam VR interface entirely, saving some processing power on your PC. Everything else here can usually be left at the default settings. Next, Head over to the Advanced tab. The field of view tangent sliders can significantly improve GPU performance. However, if you reduce them too much, it will start to feel like you're looking through a box. Personally, I recommend setting them to around 80%. This gives you a noticeable performance boost without introducing major visual drawbacks. That said, the ideal values can vary from game to game and also depend on how much visual compromise you're willing to tolerate. Now, from inside your headset, if you open the virtual desktop app, the main point of interest will be the Streamer tab. Here we have 3 additional settings that will determine the performance and visual quality of your VR experience. For VR graphics quality, choose the option that best matches your PC's GPU. This setting determines your in-game resolution, and you can always lower it later if you need to sacrifice some visual quality for better performance. In the VR frame rate menu, you can choose 72 FPS to reduce the processing load on your system. However, this is mostly recommended for slower-paced single-player games or social experiences like VR chat. Lastly, the VR bitrate mainly depends on your Wi-Fi connection and the codec selected in the PC Streamer app. If you have a stable 5 GHz or Wi-Fi 6 connection, bitrate usually shouldn't be an issue. After configuring all these settings, it's time to check whether your game's performance has improved. By pressing both thumbsticks simultaneously, you can toggle the performance overlay on or off from inside the game. This overlay will give you more details than the Steam VR performance graph. My recommendation is to start with settings that are slightly lower than what your system can probably handle. If the game runs smoothly, slowly increase one setting at a time until you're satisfied with the visual quality or until you notice a significant performance drop. This approach helps you avoid the frustration of getting the game to look exactly how you want it, only to end up with constant stuttering or performance issues. Keep experimenting with the settings until you find the perfect balance between performance and visual quality. If this video was helpful, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.